Hello and welcome to the new drawing tutorial. First of all, before you need... I'm so stupid. Again, before we begin, I must clarify a few things. This is non-professional, so if anyone's just gonna go in here and be like, oh no, this is clearly not as good as someone making art from like an art degree. Well, obviously, I'm just some kid. I'm just explaining what I know about art and how to use it. Second of all, it's not going to be in the hyper-realistic style, though it could work for a lot of styles, the things I do. I mostly just do things in my style, but the techniques which I'm going to explain work in heaps of styles. So, that's what I had to clarify before we begin. So, the first thing I want to get through in the drawing tutorial, before I begin anything, is visual expression, because visual expression is a very important thing in art and how you express things. You could make a happy face, but if it looks like this, if it looks like that, then it won't look as happy as something that looks like this. Exactly. So I will explain a lot of techniques. If you aren't already, please subscribe if you are a new a new person, and I'll get into it. Firstly, I want to explain shapes. Shapes are a very important structure and fundamental of how we make art. Shapes can come in different forms, but first I want to explain how these polygons are formed. For example, the square is made... Oh, that was a pathetic square. Square is made of 4 sides and 4 corners. Now, here's what sides do. Sides broaden out something. It can make it look more solid. And corners can make something look sort of menacing because it resembles spikes. That's where triangles come in. Triangles have a very sharp end, while squares keep their sharpness across all the corners. So, by adding triangles, you can make something look, for example, more menacing or more dangerous, while with squares, you can make something just look stable. Some people would say manly, I don't know about that. And there's another element that you can use, which is the circle. That was a pathetic circle. That was also a pathetic circle. Okay, you can do the circle. The circle has no sides, which means it isn't exactly the most stable thing in our minds. But it has no corners, so it's not menacing. It's mostly used for things that are very friendly, very welcoming. Like, that's why every happy face you see, it has like circles everywhere and nothing like that. Or, something like that, you know. Anyway, that's how things work. You can also combine different things, different shapes to make, like, pseudo shapes. Like that kind of mix in between them. The next thing I want to go over is lines for visual expression. Lines can be made completely straight, like, you know what, I don't usually use this, but yeah, they can be used completely straight, or they can be made curved to make the shapes, and that's how you make up polygons. Except, there are a few tricks that you can do with lines. You can make a line, but then start, like, removing parts of it to make it look like there's shine. If you feel like it, you can also draw back over it, like this, to make it look more chaotic. Like, it'd mostly be used for like someone who's crazy or something like that. That isn't a very good drawing, I'm not trying. And also, lines can also be patterned well, like that, to make like a wavy pattern, you know. Lines can be made in different ways. They can be more thick or they can be more thin. Thickness is usually used to show shadows. Also, with shading, you can express visually what the emotion of the image is going to be a lot of the time with shading. Of course, we want it to be as natural as possible, but to make something more peaceful, you can keep shadows like up to there. But if you want to make it less peaceful, you can also add a black shadow inside of it. Or if you're going to make it really chaotic, or just your style, you know. You can do dots, you can do cross-hatching, Just depending on what you feel like, you can shade differently to capture the emotion of an image. If you want something to be really peaceful, then you should probably add a shine, and then just just add different things to express how you feel. Anyway, there's also other ways to express things visually. For example, once you've made an object, you can give it a color. Colors are very important for visually expressing things. The part of the brain, so when we see different things, we may associate things we've seen before. For example, red can be power or danger. Orange is a mixture between yellow. It's a hybrid color. Yellow is like happiness. Orange is sort of like happiness and power put together. Just energy, energetic. Then there's green, which people associate with nature. There's blue, which people associate with energy, or the sea, or bravery. There's purple, which people, I don't know about today, but people associate with bravery back in the day. I don't know about that, I just looked it up once. Pink, I actually don't know what pink represents. I'm pretty sure it's a hybrid color between red and purple. But yeah, you can associate things differently with the different colors there are. For example, here's an object, and I'll add this as the main color. I'll put that as the shade. Anyway, compare something of that manner, like of this manner. Its vibe to something like this. You can see a clear change in vibe for each image. You can clearly see that this looks stable. It looks very happy. You know, like peaceful. Obviously, like a sort of just what you'd feel from it. Then this looks a bit more menacing because of the way it's structured and the color and the shadow, the use of shade. Anyway, I'll just remove those real quick. You can clearly see how visual expression changes the way an image is used. Obviously, you can add visual expression to body parts as well. I'm probably going to explain that in a later tutorial, although most people could figure out how to put that together from the tutorial here that I've outlined. I'll probably explain more in the future. But yeah, that's all I've been feeling about talking about right now. So, hope this was helpful. This is the first tutorial, and it's very short, but I will make more.